Alright, so I am on my way to TJ's, TJ Hunt for those of you, and I'm gonna do the Q&A on the way over there. Let's get started. Frankie Clausen wants to know, he says, since you have the LS swap already, what other engine mods are you gonna do to it in the future? Like piston upgrades, new cams, etc. Heads in a cam. I don't really plan on doing too much to the motor. I think it's good. If anything, I'd want to do LS3, but I'm pretty satisfied with the LS and the 240. But to answer your question, short and simple, that would be heads in a cam. The plan for the 240 in general, not just the motor. I mean, obviously I'm trying to get new seats. I'm trying to do the coilovers. An angle kit would be nice. I'm trying to make a drift car out of it. So that would require a cage, you know, a bash bar for the front, some harnesses. The motor's pretty solid, you guys. I'm there in that department. It has the T56 trans. Maybe down the line I'll do a better transmission for drifting, but I think this one's fine. I know a lot of people who run that, so that's my plan. This is shaking violently. 1850 Native says, if you were on a date with a guy and his car got stuck from being so low, would you get out and help push? Would you tell him to race his car up? Is that a serious question? I mean, obviously I'd get out and help push the car, or I'd help lift it or do something to try and get it off the speed bump. That's what your question asked, right? If it got stuck? Yeah. I mean, it actually happened when I was out in Venice with the homies. We were shooting a little commercial for AccuWear, and my buddy Justin got his Carmagia stuck on a god-awful plastic speed bump, and we sat there for like 30 minutes, all of us trying to get his car off. It worked, but yeah. Mayo Jocko says, what's your Snapchat username? Guys, I do not use Snapchat. Instagram stories is the same thing, so I see no point to it. Benjamin Edwards, would you consider 1J or 2J swapping your 240? I mean, I have the LS. If I went with a motor, I'd probably go 2J, but you know, I may as well just get a Supra. Brian O, how did you get into cars? Well, I've always had an interest in them. I didn't really know a lot about them when I was young, until I first got my driver's license and I was trying to decide what car I wanted to do. Oh, that's so bright. Oh, fuck. The things I do for you guys. But yeah, I couldn't decide what car I wanted, so I did a lot of research because I thought all the ones on the road were just boring. So maybe I was a little inspired by Fast and Furious, but I ended up getting a G35. It was Verde Ithaca, that Lamborghini green. Carbon fiber, rice the fuck out, 3-piece wheels, springs, HKS titanium tipped exhaust. And when I moved to Indiana, I started tracking the car, actually going to autocross events, because I got myself affiliated with a crew called B Crew, and I had a mentor. His name was Booch. He had a DSM Talon, and when I went out there, I got made fun of for the riciness of the car, and they were very awesome and taught me that there's more to car than just cosmetic things, and I was so open to learning. And him having a DSM, a Talon, and always breaking down, there was always something to do. And then another friend of mine had an LS 240, and you know, we were just constantly working on motors out of Booch's garage. We called ourselves B Crews. We're from Bloomington, Indiana, and one thing led to another, and that is how I got into cars, really. Eminem asks, were you into cars when you were a kid? If so, what was your favorite type? Jag, muscle, etc. When I was a kid, I mean, I was more into like Midnight Club and like all those racing games, so anything sporty intrigued me. I didn't really know what I was looking at as a kid. I just thought, oh, that's cool, you know. I was kind of a tomboy. I had Tonka trucks instead of Barbie dolls, you know. Michael Naguin says, what's your daily and where did you get your knowledge on cars from? I answered the latter. My daily is actually a Prius because I'm done trying to daily my cars. because every single time I buy a daily, I need a new daily, so a daily, a Prius. And fuck what the haters say, I don't care. I have AC, I have comfortability and a working radio, and it's awesome. It has built-in navigation and amazing gas mileage. So Andy fucking O wants to know, where's the Subaru? The Subaru's been down for quite some time. It's currently at RD Engineering to get a tune for the new STI motor. So once that is running right, I'm actually putting the car up for sale. So be on the lookout for that. Don't get me wrong, I love the Subi. I'm in love with the wagons, but my focus right now is the 240. One JZ Zenki MIA says, where do you see yourself going with this car? Did you get it just to cruise around and sound dope AF? What is AF, guys? Or are you planning on learning to slide in it? I mean, I'm planning to slidey slide the car. Where do I see myself going with it? I don't know, I kind of want to make some dope videos for you guys with it. I mean, cars are a hobby for me. I'm not trying to make a career out of it or anything like that. It's just something I thoroughly enjoy and I like to have fun with. So why ruin that? Paleo Edgar says, what inspired you to get a 240 instead of another car? I wanted something Japanese. I wanted a coupe, you know. I was entertaining the idea of an AE86 at the time, but for whatever reason the 240 appealed to me. Being in Indiana, it's LS Swap the World, so I knew I wanted an LS, and that's what I got. There wasn't anything that like inspired me for a 240. The more I looked in the cars, the more I realized the 240 is what I wanted. Jordan Penn, how old are you? I'm 23. Alex DeCortel says, what's your day job? I don't really have a day job, guys. I am an actor. I do like commercial stuff here and there, and right now I'm focusing on a couple projects I've been producing. I don't really know how to answer that question. Safin Giaz wants to know, what was your first car? My first car was the 2005 Infiniti G35, and I love the car. Yes, I'd probably get another one, but there's other cars I want first. Josh Washington says, are you a fan of TJ Hunt? Funny question, I am on my way to go see him right now. I'm in town for a friend's engagement right now, and he invited me to come check out his new warehouse, his new shop for his cars, so that is what I'm about to do. And I'll make a little video of that as well for you guys. Jose Saldana says, what is your ethnic background? I am a mutt. My father was Caribbean Italian, and my mother is French German. So that answers your question. Money Mob 1 says, are you going to be drifting the car? And if you are, can we hang out? I will be at Willow Springs. You guys will know when I am out there. Nuno Rosario says, what car would you buy if you could only have one car your entire life? I feel like that's just a mean question. One car? I don't know. Fuck it, I'd ball out and get an F40. 70 Tempest says, how long have you been working on cars? I have been working on cars since I got my driver's license. Maybe a little before that too, actually. Mainly started when I moved to Indiana and I got a part of B Crew, because we were just constantly working on cars, which was amazing. And then I ended up going to school for it. I didn't get a degree, but I took an engines maintenance class. I took a transmissions, differentials, drive shafts. I did a suspension class as well, but sorry guys, I'm exiting here. But yeah, I didn't finish to get a degree. It wasn't for me. I learned what I wanted to learn, and to be honest, the most of what I learned was getting hands-on in the garage anyways. The Manicorn, how many marriage proposals have you received since you started this channel? Man, I have gotten way too many. Rivaleza wants to know why 240SX and what are your plans for it? Track drift daily stance. Well, I'm not into that stancy pants life. However, my plan was to do, you know, a track drift setup where I can go back and forth between grip and drift. But instead, I'm going to be focusing with this car on drift, and the S13 is going to be grip. Seth Perdue says, what state do you live in? I think I've said it a few times now. I am from Indiana, and I come out to California when I have work. Ecstatic 25. How hard is it working 3 jobs? I assume it's to keep up with a project car. I do not work 3 jobs anymore. When I first got my car, I was working 3 jobs and going to school. That sucked, but I made it work. And my jobs, like, one of them I was, for those of you Midwesterns know, Paoli Peaks. I used to work park staff there. So I helped a lot with the park train, and I loved it. I never considered that a job, like an obligation I had to do. I made sure all my jobs were things I enjoyed. So, shout out to TJ. Your place fucking sucks to find.